Happy Friday once again, Frank Rockhouse Orange Sports Channel. I'm going to be honest, this is still really kind of mind blowing to me to say this, but this is your national championship preview that involves the Tennessee Volunteers. This is crazy. It's just crazy to say. It's really kind of didn't hit me. I was putting the cover photo, I was putting the description stuff together, and just saying that Tennessee is in a national championship. It's been a while. It has been a while since we have been able to say that in Knoxville. I guess going back to what was the last team to do it? Was it Lady Vols softball or was it Lady Vols basketball? I know it's not been any of the big men's sports. Let's put it that way. It's been 98 since that. So it's been a minute. Lady Vols have been more recent as far as times playing for the championship and whatnot. But yes, it's pretty mind blowing. And let's hope we'll get to say after this weekend, your national champion, Tennessee Volunteers. We don't have to hear these other bum fan bases who have gotten one in their heyday or something saying, well, 0 championships. Hopefully we can end that this weekend. Let's get into this preview this weekend. Tennessee, Texas A&M. I think it's, for the most part, most of the year, probably your best two teams when it's all said and done. And, it's a Texas A&M team that does come in kind of beat up this weekend, but that doesn't mean it's going to be easy. It does not mean it's going to be easy. They are missing some good players, and they have some good players that are beat up this weekend as well, but they've still found their way to the national championship game, and they are the only team who has not lost a game this postseason right now. They're 8-0 in postseason play, so it's a tall task for Tennessee, but there's some things I like about this matchup for Tennessee. So if I get into my bullet points on obviously matchup and the stat comparison I want to look at. So these teams are pretty similar in terms of a lot of their statistics. So batting average wise, Texas A&M hits 298 on the season, Tennessee at 311. The big distinction here is going to be home runs that I'm looking at. Tennessee 178, Texas A&M 133. That is your really big distinction on the year. Another one in Texas A&M's favor, stolen bases. They're 80 out of 94 on the year. Tennessee's 49 out of 66. So Texas A&M does like to run a whole lot more than what Tennessee does. So if A&M's able to get on the bases, they're going to be running on it. They're a team that likes to run a lot. Playing in Tennessee's favor, you have one of, if not the best defensive catcher in college baseball in Cal Stark. And you think, especially Cal may have some opportunities to pick some guys at first base this weekend as well. And, we'll see. Teams have really not tested him much as far as running recently. So, how does that play in? I'm sure they're still working on that in practice. But as far as live game reps, they've just not been testing him that much. More his throws have been picks to first base than they have anything else. So, there's a couple of distinctions. Tennessee, more home runs. A&M likes to run a whole lot more. Batting averages, there's not a big difference. They're A&M 298, Tennessee 311. Looking at your, let's say I did want to look at this runs scored. Runs scored on the year, Tennessee 642, Texas A&M 560. So, and that's what Tennessee playing. How many run rule games did they have? I'm not sure how many A&M has on their record. But Tennessee definitely has some. A&M has some as well. I'm not even going through their schedule to look. I'm honestly not that concerned about it in that category. But so there's a couple of your things on offense for A&M guys to watch out for. Hayden Schott is their leading hitter at 333. 8 home runs, 61 RBIs. I did see where they're talking about it that I found an article looking at some of what he has, and it says Schott is actually playing with a torn meniscus right now. But he says he's playing, hats off to him for toughing it out going through. Their catcher, Jackson Appel, he's banged up as well, but says he'll play through the pain also. And then their right fielder, who is Laviolette. I hope I pronounce that's a hard one for me to pronounce. Laviolette, I think's how it is, somewhere around there. He is playing right now with I think it's a pulled hamstring. So, that's 3 guys. And of course, their main guy, Braden Montgomery, out. What was it? Broken leg, I believe it is broken leg with him. So he's out. That's a few of your main guys for an A&M that are not at 100%. Appel hits 321, 10 home runs. Laviolette, 306, 28 home runs, 77 RBIs. Gavin Grahovic, 303, 22 home runs, 64 RBIs. That's kind of your main guys for them there. Of course, Braden Montgomery was 27 and 85. He's out. You've got Ali Camarillo. You got Ted Burton, 293, 292, respectively. Caden Sorrell, 266. Caden Kent is a guy who's been playing a little bit more, 320 average. So you may see him out in the outfield. And I know I've seen where they have Jack Bell here who hit 250 with 4 home runs, 8 RBI. I'm sorry, 1 home run and 4 RBIs, who's been out there a little bit as well. So A&M is a little beat up, but still, as long as these guys are in, there's still going to be something to deal with. So Tennessee's pitching is going to have to be on. I look at these lineups, so top to bottom, and I feel you kind of hit. Now, let's make a mistake with Tennessee. You get to the bottom of Tennessee's lineup with, Reese Chapman's kind of inconsistent. Cal Stark, I mean, I've said it on here. I feel Cal Stark it's either walk, strikeout, or home run. There's not much in between with him. It's one of the three, and you hope it's obviously walk or home run. But, that possibility of strikeout, it's always there with him. So that's kind of where you match up. Curley swinging a little bit better bat. Tennessee's top 6. I mean, I'll put them up against anybody right now with the way they're playing. Of course, Inslee, still a bit of a question mark, but he did DH against Florida State. And I think, does he play the field this weekend? I think that remains to be seen. But, in his absence, Tears and Chapman Tears made a phenomenal play in the first inning against Florida State, reminiscent of, what happened with Inslee against North Carolina as well. Pitching-wise, A&M has a good pitching staff. They have a good pitching staff. Now, they are down their number 2 guy. Their main guy, Justin Prager, he'll go. I think it's pretty much a certainty. He will go on Saturday, 2.88 ERA, 9-1. 93 2/3 innings pitched, 118 strikeouts. What I do like about this matchup, very good pitcher. Tennessee will have their work cut out for them. He's left-handed. Lefties in the past kind of given Tennessee trouble. Tennessee has seen this guy. They saw him in the SEC tournament earlier on this year. When they saw him, let me pull that up here just real quick with you. Those stats with him against Tennessee. Is this site's taking a minute to load? Of course, let's see. Here we go. Here we go. He went 2 1/3, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts during that time. So, since he's faced Tennessee, he went against Texas, 6 1/3, 4 hits, 2 earned runs. Oregon, this is one, if I'm Tennessee, I'm looking what Oregon was able to do. This was in the regional. 1 2/3, 7 hits. Or I'm sorry, this is super regionals. The Texas game was in the regionals. So Oregon, 1 2/3, 7 innings or 7 hits, 6 runs. They were earned, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. So actually no walks, 1 strikeout. Where he gave up a double. I was one further over on that. Against Kentucky in the College World Series, that was on the 17th, 6 2/3, 2 hits, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts on it. So I don't know. The way Tennessee's been hitting lefties, though, we'll see how it is. They've seen this guy. They've seen him through one time in the lineup. I like Tennessee's chances to hit this guy. Now, we look at Tennessee. They're going to counter with Stamos, of course. Stamos will go for Tennessee. And, of course, how far does he go? Recently, it's not been very far. It's not been very far. He's gotten into the second inning occasionally. But, when he faced A&M, he went, let's see. His innings pitch. He was excellent. That's what I was thinking. 3 1/3. He gave up 1 run. He gave up 1 hit against A&M and had 3 strikeouts. If I don't know if it's realistic to expect him to get into the fourth inning again, but if he gets you into the third inning to turn it over to Causey, I like their chances at that point in that game. And looking at Causey and what he did against A&M, and we'll pull that up here just a minute as well. So against A&M, his first time he went 4 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 7 strikeouts. So if you can get that kind of performance close to it, that allows you to turn it over to Snead or Combs at the end. And I think it's vital if Tennessee gets out of the gates with that win tomorrow night. I like their chances to end that series. You go to Drew Beam on Sunday. You go to Xander Sechrist on Monday if needed. Texas A&M's normal number 2 guy is out right now. That was I won't pronounce Shane Sadeo. So he is out. He will not pitch. So their guy who they just had recently who pitched game 2 was Justin Lampkin. And, looking at Lampkin's stats here, I want to pull him up. He's got a 5.0 ERA. Both of their other guys who are listed as starters in this series, you're looking at Lampkin, 5.0 ERA, and it looks to me like Tanner Jones is their other guy, and he has a 6.33 ERA. I just like how this matches up. You get guys with that kind of ERA against Tennessee, I think that plays into Tennessee's hands on this one. And again, good team, very good team that's coming in. Now, I will say this, though. I talk about Texas A&M starters. Here's their strength, though. It is their bullpen. Their bullpen, probably second to none. Evan Aschenbach, he is their main guy out of the bullpen. He comes in with, going between a lot of different spring, 1.54 ERA, 70 innings pitched, 77 strikeouts. Again, what I like here, he is a left-hander. Tennessee's been having success against left-handers recently. Trying to see where else would go. Let's see, Brad Rudis. I wanted to say the pronunciation. 2.29 ERA, 35 and a third, 35 strikeouts with him. He's another guy they can turn it over in that bullpen. Looks to me like he is a righty here from what I'm seeing. No, I'm not uncertain on that. He is. Chris Cortez, 2.98. Isaac Morton, 2.87. ERA just going down the line. Brock Peary, 3.60. This is a stout bullpen, man. This is probably one of the top to bottom best bullpens Tennessee is going to face, also, if not the best. So, it's one thing maybe you get through their starters. Once you get into that bullpen, though, it amps up a notch. It's going to be a tough matchup, man. Let's make no mistake about it. Where I think Tennessee matches up well bullpen-wise, though. Looking at Texas A&M's ERA, it's 3.80. Tennessee's is 3.87. I mean, we look at Tennessee's main guys out of the bullpen. Here, you got Snead, 3.10. Causey, 4.21. His has fluctuated basically off of 3 starts. Georgia, Auburn, and then this past weekend against Florida State. That's been his worst 3 outings. If we were to see Dylan Lloyd, 2.25, Banky, 3.08, Aaron Combs, 3.32, Cannell, 3.78, Marcus Phillips, if you got to him, 5.12. So, top to bottom, man, these teams match up well. Where I think Tennessee has that advantage is starting pitching, and they have that power advantage as well. Tennessee, if they can keep A&M off the bases, that's going to be a big, big, big deal for Tennessee this weekend. So to me, your key thing, play your good defense on it. Play defense the way you are. Back your pitchers up. Keep A&M off take what they give you. All right? Take what they give you. They have some players on this team for sure. Take what they give you. Your pitchers. Stamos, get me into the 3rd inning. Get me 2 solid innings. It'd be awesome for him to get through 3 again, but you got to factor in where I talked about Tennessee seeing Prager. A&M, they've seen Stamos and Causey. So how can they adjust to those guys? You have to take in both sides of the equation on that one. If you get Stamos on his game, if his defense will back him up, the biggest thing with Stamos is avoid that killer pitch. because a lot of times he'll be rolling through and then he hangs one. And it's, it changes the game. You got to know Causey's going to be ready from the get-go tomorrow night. He was a little bit inconsistent against Florida State. Probably one of his 3 worst outings of the year. No doubt about that. Another thing, a key to me, these injuries for A&M. They're playing, they've minimized. They played 3 games so far. I think both teams have fresh pitching staffs. Their pitching staffs are going to be ready to go. Can Tennessee, which team can get to the other's bullpen? I think that's what's going to come down to on it. Because if you're Vitello, Stamos struggles, you get him out quick and go to Causey. I think Causey starts to, they'll get him out whether they go to Cannell or Combs at that point. You saw him do it against Florida State last week. I think there's a similar plan in place. Drew Beam, I thought, was really good against North Carolina. And then Xander Sechrist, if you get to Monday, and I'm hoping Tennessee wins the first 2 and gets it done, you've got Sechrist pitching the best on the staff right now. To me, tough matchup. I think Tennessee's, I don't know. I think when it's all said and done, A&M's injuries, I think that, man, it's a there's a razor thin margin for error. You know where I'm going on this. Of course, I'm going to go this way on it. Do I think it'll be tough? Absolutely. I'm going Tennessee Sunday evening around 6 o'clock. When we go live on here, we're celebrating the national championship. That's which way I'm going on this one. We'll see. Maybe I'm wrong on it. I don't care if it takes them to go Monday night to win it. A national championship is a national championship. 2 wins. You got to get to 60. You get to 60. I don't care how they do it. Just do it. I'm going to wrap up on that one. Guys, dropped a video this morning, talk about A.J. Russell. A lot of positive news on that. Yesterday, Matthew Dallas hits the portal. I have more content coming later today. Tennessee football, big recruiting weekend. And then I picked up on some Lady Vols stuff as well with a couple big visitors for them coming in next week. So lots of content today. I hope you'll enjoy it. Last but not least, before I get out of here, you know the drill. Hit that like, that share, subscribe. I noticed in the meantime, getting to this, we're over 1,300. We're on the way to 1,500. It's pretty awesome right now. Have a great Friday. My name's Frank Rock, House of Orange Sports Channel. And last but not least, go Vols.